Hello everyone, my name is Leigh Monet and welcome to my wreck of a life. And welcome to my, let's just call it Empties, a self-flagellation. I kept all of these empties from last year because if I started a YouTube channel, I would probably want to do an empties video because that's what you do when you have a channel that is even slightly sort of kind of tangentially related to beauty. You do empties videos, and I kind of like empties videos. I kind of like the idea of actually seeing what people use, seeing what they're actually using, seeing what they are using up, what they think about them, and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of good information to have. But this is a bit more of empties as an experiment, because if you watched my first video, and if you have done so, you will perhaps remember that I have been working on my money. I started buying a few too many beauty items and realized I was spending money I really didn't need to be spending on non-essential items. And so I have been more careful in this year, 2019. But 2018 was when I was tracking all of my spending and was becoming more conscious of what I was buying. And also, I essentially went on a low buy with my cosmetics. I am right now in the middle of a no buy. I'm not buying any cosmetics at all this year. I don't need them, and I really want to I wanted to put the kibosh on the spending so that I could really get a handle on what I had. So last year I decided to keep track of all of the empties that I have. I probably didn't keep track of every single empty. I know that I don't have some leader hair care products, but this was especially an experiment to see how many cosmetics, beauty type products I actually used. And spoiler alert, not a lot, which is why I'm on a no buy, because I don't need to have that many beauty products in my life when you figure I don't use that many up. It takes a while to use up an eyeshadow or a lipstick or a lip product of any kind. Let's not even talk about blush or anything like that. So without further ado, let us look into my trash. Okay, I'm going to start off with hair care products. That is the category that is the least represented. It has the fewest products. So first off, there was this Twisted Sista Farewell to Frizz 30-second curl spray with natural moisturizing argan. It was fine. It smelled kind of like watermelon, and I really didn't like that. Oh, and it's made in England. Interesting. It was fine, but I think it was really meant more for people with more kinky curly hair, and I do not have very kinky hair. I have more wavy hair, so this was fine. It's not something that I would repurchase. I also have an empty, just the empty of the bottom portion, the Kinky Curly Original Curling Custard. I do like this, but it is pretty intense. Again, it's really made, as the name would suggest, for people with more kinky curly hair, and I definitely don't have more kinky curly hair. So it was good, again, but I found that I had to mix it with something that had less hold, so it didn't feel quite as intensely like crunchy. And I don't mind crunchy because I just scrunch the crunch out of my hair, but this, I mean, it's fine. It's something that I have used at various times before, and I may use it, I may buy it again. It's not something that's really on my radar to buy, because my current favorite for my curly / wavy, mostly wavy hair is the Andalou Naturals Sunflower and Citrus Styling Gel, and it's medium hold. I really like this stuff. This is something that I do always have backups of, and I don't usually do backups anymore. I have found that backups are kind of a trap, and either they're an excuse to buy more stuff, which I don't need, or I'll buy some backups and then I'll kind of get tired of the product. This is one of the few products that I really do like a lot, and I do have backups of it. I really like this. So this is something that's absolutely worth it. The Aveda Be Curly Curl Enhancing Hairspray. Again, it was fine. I get my hair cut at an Aveda salon, so I do tend to have, so every so often I will buy some of their products. This was fine. I just have to be careful with hairspray type products because they can get sticky. I live in a very humid climate and they can get kind of sticky-ish, so I have to be careful with that. So again, it was a fine product. It's not something I'm looking to repurchase at this point in time, perhaps ever. Diva Curl Wave Maker. I did like this. Again, this is not something that I can use just on its own. I have to combine it. So this is something that I would combine with that Kinky Curly Curling Custard, because this doesn't have enough hold for me. The Kinky Curly Custard had too much. So if I combine those two types of products together, I find that that can really help sort of even everything out for my hair. My hair's super picky about what I do to it. It's super annoying because it's not really curly. It can be a little bit curly, like parts of it, but I have to be really careful with it because the curl / waves can fall out really easily. So I have to have something that has good enough hold to hold the curl / wave, but also not something that has too little hold. So it's either too much or not enough. So it can be a real bear trying to find products that work. So, which is why I keep going back to the Andalou Naturals. It is really good. It has just enough hold, but not too much, and I really like it. Okay, the Way Hair Care Texturizing Hairspray. I actually got a set of hair texturizers from Sephora. I think it was last year for in my birthday month. I went in and got that, and then also got my little birthday gift. It was fine. I know there are people who talk about they either love the smell of the Way products or they hate the smell. I thought it was okay, but it does have a very particular scent, and I can see why some people wouldn't like that. So it was okay. Again, not something that I'm looking to repurchase perhaps ever. And I think this is the last yes, I think. The last hair care product, Derma Organic Leave-In Treatment. This is an argan oil treatment. I got this, I think it was like at TJ Maxx, Marshall's, one of those where they have in like the beauty area, they have different sets. And I like the size of this because this would be good for travel. Not that I travel all that much, or especially on airplanes where it even matters. Again, it's good. I like to put something like an oil on in the shower as like a first step of styling when I'm still in the shower, and I may talk about styling my hair in some future videos because, again, I have a very particular kind of hair that isn't represented as much perhaps as it could be, because there aren't a lot of folks who talk about more wavy hair as opposed to curly hair. Lots of curly people, but for those of us with wavy hair, not so much curly but wavy, we tend to have some pretty picky hair, and the tips that work on people with really curly hair often don't work for us, just because our hair, it tends to lose its wave and its texture really easily. So anyways, all of that to say, this was fine. It's not something, again, that I'm looking to repurchase anytime soon, if ever. I'm actually using an OGX product, or I think it still had the old Organics name on the bottle, so that's how long I've had it. I'm using that one up now, and it's one of those, I think it's an argan oil, it's some sort of like spray oil. Anywho, let's move on to the skincare. And let's start off with the cleansers. So I have this, this was actually one of my favorites, and unfortunately I can't find it in Ulta anymore. It's the Pacifica Quinoa Sensitive Super Gentle Face Wash. I really liked this. My issue with most Pacifica products is they are very fragranced. This one was not an exception. It did have a fragrance, but it wasn't too bad, and I'm okay kind of with fragranced products that are going to be rinsed off, like cleansers, because I know I'm going to be taking them off. They're not sitting on my skin, as opposed to like a moisturizer or something like that that's going to sit on the skin. I liked this. It was pretty gentle. I like using something like this in the morning because I do want to wash my face in the morning. I do put some oil on it at night, and I have somewhat oily skin still, even at my age, so I do like to actually wash my face in the morning, so I do like something like this. So I like using something that's fairly gentle, that's going to get that oil off without feeling stripped, and this was actually pretty nice. I just haven't been able to buy it because it's not at Ulta anymore. I don't know why. I think Pacifica still makes it, but it's not being sold at Ulta, so who knows. Okay, the Pacifica Coconut Water Micellar Cleansing Tonic. I really like this one as well. Yes, it does have some fragrance, but again, I don't feel like it affects my skin. I haven't noticed having any reaction to it. Let me put it that way. I do like to use a micellar water at night because I use coconut oil to take off my makeup, especially when I'm wearing mascara, because I usually do wear waterproof mascara as a first coat, and I need to use something oily to get that off, and coconut oil works really, really well, and it's cheap, and it's just really good. And then I like to use a micellar water with a cotton pad and just wipe all of that off. So I do like this, and I believe I'm using this right now in my routine. It's one of the Pacifica micellar waters. Another Pacifica product, but again, same issue with the fragrance. It's the Happy Essence Hydro Mist. I have been getting into essences recently, and so I had tried this. Again, I liked it, but as with all of the Pacifica products, they all have fragrance. I really prefer not to put something that's going to be staying on my skin, put something like that on that has a fragrance. So as I liked it. It seemed to, again, I didn't seem to have any reactions to it or anything, but it does have fragrance, so I prefer to stay away from products with fragrance. Okay, Andalou Naturals Argan and Omega Natural Glow 3-in-1 Treatment Brightening. This is an oil, and I liked it. I'm currently using rosehip seed oil in this area of my face because I have a mild case of rosacea, and the rosehip seed oil is known to be very calming. It doesn't have a fragrance. This had a little bit of a fragrance. Again, with a lot of natural products, there tend to be fragrances in them, either in the items that they put in here, the ingredients that they put in here, or they add a fragrance. Again, it was fine. It was not something, though, that I felt the need to repurchase because I think the rosehip seed oil is even better, and it doesn't have a fragrance, and it's less expensive than this. Okay, now this one I really liked, but again, Ulta doesn't carry it anymore, so I haven't been buying it recently. It's the Alpha Hydrox, and this line is now called just Alpha Skincare. It's the oil-free treatment, 10% glycolic AHA anti-wrinkle. And I like to use an AHA product on what I would call the perimeter of my face, especially my chin, because AHAs work really well on texture, on the sort of top surface of your skin if you need to slough off skin cells. They're a really great chemical exfoliant that does that. They'll help to slough off skin cells. My chin often gets those, I think they're milia, the little white dots, and it just can look kind of textured, so I especially like to use it there, and then sort of put it all around the perimeter. I use BHA on the inside right here, again, because of the rosacea. BHA is known for being a really good product for people with redness and sensitivity and rosacea. So, but I may talk about my skincare routine at some point. In fact, I'd like to, because again, that's something that has changed as I've gotten older and I've learned more about skincare and learned more about products. So, okay, the Yes to Grapefruit Correct and Repair Dark Circle Correcting Eye Cream. It was fine. It had a weird smell. It was fine. I didn't notice that it got rid of any dark circles. I don't have really bad dark circles. I'm very fortunate. It was fine. It has a little bit of a fragrance. I don't know if that's something that they add or if it's just from the ingredients that they have in this. But again, it was fine, but I haven't repurchased it. Okay, the e.l.f. Illuminating Eye Cream, another product that was fine. It's in a pot though, and I don't prefer products in a pot, again, because of hygiene and things like that. Plus, this really annoys me. And this is actually something that annoys me about the Paula's Choice product packaging. I love the products, but the packaging is not recyclable, and this is not recyclable. It does not have a recycling code on it, and that annoys the living daylights out of me. It was fine. It was okay. I didn't notice any huge change in the skin around my eyes, so again, not something that I have repurchased. Okay, I have these Equate makeup removers. I'm pretty sure I bought these because I was going on a trip and wanted to bring these to use for removing my makeup at night. They were fine. They were fine. I don't like these types of products because of the environmental impact. This is just going to go in the garbage, and it's going to go in the ground, and it's going to sit there forever and ever and probably never break down. And it's plastic, and I don't like these types of products. I don't typically buy these towelette things because of the packaging, so it's not something I'm going to be repurchasing. Okay, the Botanics Hot Cloth Cleansing Balm is a one of those oil balms, kind of like, I know Clinique has one. It's a cleansing balm. It's fine. It has a little bit of a fragrance. Not too bad though. It was fine, but again, I think the coconut oil works just as well, and coconut oil is less expensive and has no fragrance other than the smell of coconuts. So, which just comes by naturally because it's coconut oil. So it kind of makes sense that it has the fragrance. Okay, more like skincare as in like serums and things like that. Oh, here's one of the Paula's Choice. This is the Resist Perfectly Balanced Foaming Cleanser. I really liked this. I got this little, what is this? A 1 ounce bottle. This is like their travel size bottle, and I think I may actually save this bottle because this is a really nice bottle. But I really liked this cleanser for morning cleansing. Again, I'm not taking off makeup, I'm just taking off the oil that's sort of accumulated. I really did like this. I have not repurchased it yet, but I'm thinking about it. I may try another Pacifica cleanser in the meantime, just because I have to get this via mail order. But I did like this a lot. It left my face feeling very cleansed, but again, not stripped, not tight, not like it was over cleansed. And I was really pleased with that because it can be difficult for me to find cleansers that make my skin feel clean, but don't make it feel like it's been over cleaned. So I want to get that oil off and I want to feel fresh and clean, but not like it's too much. So I'm picky. So I liked this because it hit that right balance. So it's aptly named, Perfectly Balanced. Okay, here's a few things from my shell, which is one of those like natural, organic, yada yada yada. I don't put a whole lot of stock in that. Natural means nothing in pretty much any iteration of the word natural, whether it's with cosmetics or food or whatever. But I was getting ready to go on a trip again, and there was a little, at Whole Foods, they had a 3-pack that had the Sun Shield Unscented SPF 28, the Remarkable Retinol Serum, and the Perfect C Pro Serum. These were fine. I didn't find anything special with them. This Sun Shield was a little bit greasy, like a lot of the SPFs out there on the market. It was a little bit on the greasy side, so I wouldn't buy these again. That's just, I didn't find them to be all that spectacular, and the packaging was a little fiddly just because it was small, and I think the pumps didn't really work as well as hopefully they would work on the full size. So there's that. Okay, the Pixie Skin Treats Overnight Glow Serum. I bought this on the recommendation of a YouTuber, Logical Harmony. Tashina from Logical Harmony recommended this. This is one of the serums that she uses. I liked it. I prefer a more nourishing feeling serum. This is meant to be for exfoliating. So it's an exfoliating serum. So if that's not what you're looking for, if you prefer something that feels more nourishing, more sort of moisturizing, this may not be for you. It was fine. I don't remember it having much of a fragrance, so that's a plus. Because again, I don't really like heavily fragranced products especially. So it was okay. I haven't repurchased it. Okay, another Paula's Choice product, the Skin Balancing Super Antioxidant Concentrate Serum. I do like this a lot. This, I believe, was part of a set. If you bought over a certain dollar amount, you could choose to get a set that had a bunch of little samples, and it came in a makeup bag, and I believe this was one of the samples. I do like this serum. I prefer a couple of the other serums from Paula's Choice, which I may talk about when I talk about my skincare regimen, which I think I will talk about sometime in the future, just because I like watching skincare videos, just because you never know. I like hearing about what people are actually using on their skin. So I did like this. But again, I prefer a couple of their other serums besides this, but this is a good serum. Another Paula's Choice product, you're going to notice a theme with my skincare. I like Paula's Choice. I remember hearing about Paula Bagan, who's the founder of Paula's Choice, back in the 80s, like late 80s, talking about SPF. And she was the first person that I remember talking about SPF and talking about the different ingredients in SPF, the active ingredients, and that there are, you know, we talk about broad spectrum now, and that's pretty much always mentioned with SPF, in connection with SPF is broad spectrum. That was kind of a new thing, and she talked about there were certain ingredients you should look for on your SPFs, otherwise they were not broad spectrum, and they weren't protecting you from both UVA and UVB, and she was the first person I ever remember hearing talk about that. So I have a lot of respect for her. I think she does some good research, and so I like her, and I also like her products. And this is one of my favorites. This is something that I use all the time. It is the Calm Repairing Serum, and it is meant for people with sensitive skin, such as rosacea, which I have. So it not only helps with that, it also has a lot of like nice skincare ingredients, and I really do like the way it feels. It's not a heavy, greasy serum. I don't mind using something heavier or even something a little greasy at night because I'm just going to bed. But for daytime, I can't do that because, again, I have skin that tends to be a little bit on the oily side. So I like this. I like this a lot. And this is something that when I do talk about my skincare regimen, I will be talking about this because I like it a lot. Okay, a couple more things. Oh, more Paula's Choice. This will not come as a surprise if you know me at all. Here's the Skin Recovery Super Antioxidant Concentrate Serum. This is meant for dry skin. The other one that I talked about was meant for oily skin, so you got one of each in that little set. I liked it. Again, at night, I don't mind a serum that is meant for more dry skin because I kind of like having something that feels like it's doing a lot. Not that stuff for dry skin necessarily does more than oily, but you know what I'm talking about. A lot of times the serums that are made specifically for oily skin they feel lighter because people with oily skin, especially during the day, we don't want to have lots of oily, icky stuff on our skin. So, but I did like this. But again, this is not something that I have bought since. I have other serums that I like better from Paula's Choice, but this is a good one. Okay, the Hyaluronic Acid Booster. Hyaluronic acid is really good for plumping up the skin, for increasing the moisture content, and I did like this, but I don't think it's really what I need. One of the items that I have thought about trying, but I think I'm going to try it from The Ordinary, is the azelaic acid. Paula's Choice has since come out with an azelaic acid booster. They didn't have it at the time I bought this, and I didn't know this until somewhat recently, that azelaic acid is really great for redness, especially with like acne, or as somebody like me who has rosacea, that type of redness. So I like the idea of that. So I'm going to try some stuff with azelaic acid, and I will let you know how it turns out because I'm intrigued, because I do have a little bit of redness. It's not terrible, but it's something. But anyways, this is a good product, especially if you're looking for a almost pure hyaluronic acid. It has ceramides. It's for all skin types. You can add this to other products. That's why it's called a booster. You can put it in with other products, so other serums or moisturizers or whatever, and to increase the hyaluronic acid if you're looking for that ingredient specifically. So I did like this. I just don't think it's what my skin needs, and so I haven't repurchased it. All right, and I think this is the final Paula's Choice item. This is the Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense. And this is one of my favorite products. I use this. I have been using this for several years. I will continue to use it. I'm using it right now. And it is a It's exactly what it says. It's a broad spectrum SPF 30. It also has a bit of a tint. I don't know if you probably can't see it from back there, and I don't have a way to do close-ups yet. But we're working on that. I'm working on my skills. So I really like this product. It has a bit of a tint again, so it's not that pure white. It is a physical sunscreen. I prefer physical sunscreens because of my rosacea. Rosacea does better with physical sunscreens than it does with chemical type sunscreens. So I do prefer physical, and this one's a physical sunscreen. So I really do like it. It's one of my absolute favorite products. I will continue to repurchase it. Don't know that I really like the term holy grail, but I guess if you pressed me to talk about items that I consider holy grails, this would be one of them. And I cut all of my tubes open because I scrape every last little bit out. I believe in that. I don't believe in leaving anything if I can at all help it. So that is what I do. And one last thing for body care, and that is Trader Joe's Pumpkin Body Butter. I do really like this. Again, this, I think it is not recyclable. The top is not recyclable and the bottom is not recyclable, which annoys the living daylights out of me again. I do like this though. I know this is one of those things that a lot of people tend to talk about. Every year is the pumpkin body butter. They bring it out every fall. It's just like their coconut body butter, except it has a pumpkin scent. Not really, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, I suppose. And I don't mind putting fragrance products on my body because I don't find that my skin has an issue with it. So I do like it. Like I said, the thing that annoys me is it's not recyclable, and I'm really big on recycling. I'm just one of those people. So I think that is it for all of my like skincare, hair care, skincare. I did not save some of my liter bottles. I like to buy my hair care especially in liter bottles, especially when Ulta has them on sale. My favorite conditioner right now is the AG Hair Cosmetics. It's their curly hair one. I can't remember the exact name. They changed it just recently. I liked their previous one better, but I do like the new one as well. And again, I like to buy it in liters because it doesn't run out as quickly, and it's also more environmentally responsible. It uses less plastic than if you buy a bunch of smaller bottles that equal up to the same amount. So I like the I like buying the liter size. So I currently use that, and I'm pretty sure I used up at least one of those last year, but didn't put it in here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for skincare and hair care. I was going to go ahead and do makeup, but I think I'm going to save that for my next video because that's really the self-flagellation part of all of this. So I'd kind of like to give a little more thought to the makeup portion, because that's the one where there's perhaps a little bit of guilt, but also a lot of self-actualization and self-realization going on. So if that sounds good to you, please join me for my next video when I go into that vat of, I don't know, empties as learning. That's what we'll call it. Empties as a learning process. Learning how much you really don't need to buy. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if all of this sounds good to you. I am going through a whole journey here with learning what I need and learning what I don't need and learning what I can live without, and learning how to sort of combat a lot of that commercialism and consumerism that is out there. And when I look at some of the things that I've bought, I can see how I can fall for a lot of those things. So this is a bit of a learning process. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, any suggestions as to what you'd like to hear me talk about, I have a lot of stuff that is kind of on my mind that I'm working on for the future, so I hope you will join me. So thanks so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.